Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hey, everybody. I'm Victor. Sophia's with me today. She has volunteered to be the model, and I'm going to use her to show you how to find the perfect skating position. I found Sophia to be perfect because she is a good mix of beautiful and really strong in the skating position.
Thanks.
You don't find a lot of those. We are going to wait until it's actual time. We don't want to leave people hanging if they didn't make it a few minutes before the schedule live. As you can see, we went inside in our Airbnb apartment where we're gonna stream from today. It's raining for once here in Portugal, so we decided to take all of you with us inside. Today is same as last week. It's not an actual training session. It's more like a lesson, a class on skating. We're gonna do this once a week where we take up a technical topic. If you have any, feel free to comment down below if there's any specific things you want us to talk about, to review, and if you want to hear our opinion on certain things, we will take that up next week. Before I forget, on Friday we have a classic dryline training session where you can join us live, and that is going to be a real training session, not just rambling about technique. So you're going to get sweaty and you're going to get sore from that one. But salut Simon, j'espère que tu vas bien.
Hello, Simon.
Ça fait plaisir de te voir. Enfin, de te voir écrire. But today is just going to be talking about skating. We mentioned this last time, but the reason we do it as a live, hey there, the reason we do it as a live stream and not just upload a video is because we really want it to be like a two-way communication skating lesson. So whenever you have questions, don't hold back, even if it's cool to be late, we're probably a little too early. We can still see more and more people taking in live. So are we. So we want to make this a two-way communication lesson where you can ask questions all along. If we're showing something, we can't really respond immediately, but we'll come back to you. If you have something you really want to know the answer to, what can you do?
Super chat.
You can super chat. No, on a serious note, we do this out of our own pocket. We want to get sweet equipment to improve the channel, improve the content. And our way of funding that is through super chats. We received some already. But if you want to support us in the channel, you can click on a $sign below in the live chat, and you can donate really any amount you wish to donate and help us along. From, I think it starts at $0.50, $1. Nothing. If you all donate $1, we're gonna be really happy. So thanks a lot for that. Is there anything else we want to share? Probably. We got some t-shirts, some more t-shirts.
Oh, do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we made some new designs. You go check it out. We made some hoodies as well in kids sizes. So yeah, go check it out. And we're currently designing one more, so we'll upload it in a few days or so.
Yeah, we really expanded the collection. There's links right below this video, whether you watch it live or later on, and you can click and check it all out. Yeah, so I guess we can get started. It's time. In 5 seconds, we should have everybody with us. See, there's 15 viewers already. That's really nice. What's your contact number? I'll get back to you if you comment in the section here below. Then I'll make sure to check it out. All right, the skating position. The reason we chose this as one of our first topics is because it's super essential. You always need to get your basics right before you can build from that. You need something to build from. And the skating position is essential. There's no way you can, all these other fancy things we talk about technically, like the double push, the good lean, a perfect crossover, is...
Nothing is possible without it.
Yeah, it's even impossible, so don't try and skip the basics, even though it's boring, even though it's a whole ton of repetition and it seems very simple. So few people, skaters, got this right. I practice this all the time, Sophia practices this very often. If you see the dryland section that we do, some of them are incredibly simple.
Very basic.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, you can ask questions all along, but at first we're just going to show you how to find this position. If Sophia would like to try and go in position. Okay, so it looks pretty simple. It hurts a lot after a while, so I'm going to explain this quickly before Sophia hates me too much. There's different things that you should be aware of. Of course, you want to get low. The lower you are, the more balance, the more control, and to a further extent, you can extend your legs. So you can take a break. If you're this low, you can extend your legs till here. If you're this low, you can go all the way out there. If you're this low, you can reach all the way out there. If you're that low, it's gonna hurt your legs too much. So that's why most people recommend a 90-degree knee angle or a knee bend. As you can see Sophia has in this position, you can draw at least a 90-degree angle here. That is what most skaters, especially if you look across the elite fields, that is what they're gonna have. So that's what I would recommend that you try and aim for. When you're out skating, this is obviously going to be a little bit different because I have yet to see an inline skater do this for 42 kilometers without blowing up. But when we do it in dryland sessions and to some extent when we practice inline skating, ice skating, short track, long track, we would always try and practice for that perfect position. There's no reason to not go for the best when you're practicing. That's the definition of the very word itself. Okay, if you want to face the camera and do it. So before we look at the side view, some very common mistakes is that everything is not aligned. So you want straight lines with your legs. That is the most simple and most effective way to get the most out of your leg power. So as you can see here, Sophia has about shoulder width between her knees, and same goes for the legs. So you can draw a straight line through foot, knee, and shoulder on both sides. That goes all the way up. That way you won't have the knees carving in, that's gonna lose pressure, same as this will. So try and get those lines straight. Maybe we should see if there's any questions. Hey Switzerland, buenos dias desde Italia, ciao Italy. Okay, so if we take a look from the side again, there's still more lines coming up here. It's all about straight lines. Sophia goes down here, you will once again find a straight line from shoulder to knee to toe. So you also want to have that in a straight line. Another thing, especially if you're a long distance skater, you want this back to be relaxed. You don't want it to like overextend that way. That is going to blow you up here. It's going to cause a lot of immediate but also long-term back pain. So you want this to be relaxed, and the reason she can relax here and not fall forward or fall backwards is because she's relying on this angle. So you can almost feel comfortable by feeling that pressure and that leverage on the front of the legs. So try and get your knees out a little. Another reason why she's not falling over is because she has her hip under. This allows you, unlike this, if you have the hip under, it allows you to activate the glutes and push with your butt, and that's a really big and strong muscle, instead of blowing up your quads.
Butt is a strong muscle.
Butt is the strongest. The strongest muscle, so there's no reason to not use it.
Yeah.
If you wanna take another little, it's gonna be an interval session for you.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing you wanna notice is her head. One thing that you will feel if you go down in the skating position, and I'll be solid there, is that the most comfortable position is just to let your head fall down. But when we're out skating, we also want to see what's going on in front of us. So you want to find a mix between a position that's too tense and too relaxed. So what I advise you to do is you try and have the head in a somewhat relaxed position and look more through the eyebrows. That's an advice I have been given by several coaches, and I find that to be really nice because it's the best way that you can sort of still feel relaxed, like that spine is just naturally bending, so you're not trying to be too tense. But you can still feel what's going on in front of you, and that's what I found to be most comfortable and efficient. Another thing is that you want to keep, so this is all pretty simple because we're not moving, we're not going anywhere. As soon as you start skating, this body position should be about the same all the time. So whatever leg you're having the weight on, if you're skating here, you kind of always want everything to be parallel. So you don't want this to twist, you don't want the hips to twist. You would always want this to be parallel to the ground, and the shoulders. So when you're doing your double push or your turns, you don't want to bend in, you don't want to twist, so this should always be parallel. Is there any questions so far? Then now is the time. Next thing we're gonna look at, once we've given you the chance to ask along, if there's anything you want us to take a look at, to anything, yeah, we should bring up here. You got the chance now. Next thing we're gonna look at is how to avoid pain in certain areas. Skating is a pretty tough sport. It's I'm pretty sure it's the fastest sport where you carry all of your body weight. I don't know if you heard that too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Skating in turns,
Skating.
there's a lot of brutal force that is applied to you, and that can cause a lot of back pain. On the top of that, especially for inline skaters, there's a lot of different surfaces, and that can cause a lot of back pain, a lot of shin pain. So some of the ways you can work with that is also by change of position. Before you get into that, because that's gonna make you do some drastic changes of habits of how you skate, and some might not even be ideal to skate fast. You should take a look at the wheels that you have, and maybe even the boots. I recommend getting softer wheels. You can still stay with the same wheel brand. I myself have been skating on Boom junk wheels for a while, and whenever I feel shin pain, usually when I start track skating a lot of turns or on rough surfaces, instead of changing the brand of wheel, I just opt for a softer wheel. So instead of going XX firm, I would go X firm or even firm. I do know that you lose some speed when you change for softer wheels, but very often it can actually be worth it because you simply skate better. And who cares if you skate 0.01 kilometers faster if your back blows up halfway through the marathon. So definitely take a look at your wheels and try out even different hops that could be softer with more flex. Is for sure going to help you get comfortable, but there is some ways that we can make changes in the basic position to try and prevent these, especially back and shin pain. So Sophia goes down in position again, maybe from the side. So one of the ways that you can avoid back pain is by working less with the back. Right now, this back holds a lot of her upper front body. If she instead gets this a little more rounded and lifts it up a little, but then pushes the hip under and also lets the knee go forward a bit. That way, her center of gravity is going to go a little behind. This is also going to help you a lot. So instead of skating like this, you easily create the habit of kicking backwards. If you get it all under, the knees forward, the shoulders up a little. It doesn't mean you should be a full recreational skater, but it's gonna help you, like I said, activate the glutes, push straight to the side, and there's gonna be a lot less back to carry because it's gonna be right on top of you. Kind of the same as it's much easier to carry a backpack on the back than in your arms because this is right above the center of gravity. So get the knees out, shoulders up a little, and tuck the hips in under. Think of pushing or pulling your belly button a little forward maybe, and make sure that you have the weight of your body as far out front as you can. For the shins, it also helps a lot to have a little more of the angle bend. Simply it's just going to relax more in the shins. If you have the shins perfectly straight here, you're going to make them work much more to steer, unlike if you're here. It's just going to create a natural leverage, and it's going to be much easier for the shins in the long run. If you have any other questions, any other concerns, problems when you're out skating regarding the basic position, we would love to hear about that. There's probably things we don't even know about or things that we forgot.
Yeah.
So this is just what we experienced and different pieces of advice we have heard and tested out over the years. We should maybe, if not, we can talk about the knee angle. In the beginning, I mentioned that most skaters, good skaters, try and aim for a 90-degree knee angle. but that really depends what distance you're skating.
Also depends on the body composition.
Yeah, true. If you're a really snappy Asian sprinter, you might just run like a Usain Bolt with straight legs. Yeah, it really depends on a lot of things. So 90 degrees is more like a general rule.
Yeah.
For sure, if sprinting, like we mentioned, it's nicer to get lower. You can create more power, pressure, longer strokes.
You can't really sit low during all 10K.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really all about being the most efficient with how much you got. Shin pain methods to recover. I know from my 2 previous coaches, the reason they quit skating is actually because of excessive shin pain. So that's a topic I heard a lot about and that I personally worked a lot with to try and prevent that from happening in my case. I would say that softer wheels is a really good way to prevent. Kinesio tape is also really great. If you run outside skating, I would try and cease running, or at least keep it to a minimum. Running is very tough to the shins. You can do more straightaway skating instead of turns. Sophia would know that as a short track skater, there's crazy amount of force to the shin.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any additional recommendations.
For recovering, maybe foam rolling.
Yeah, definitely foam rolling.
Or these small massage balls. You can like speak.
Yeah.
Focus on the specific area.
This could even be a perfect moment to show my Euro booth. A company, I don't want to talk too much great stuff about it because they're sponsoring me, but just Your Boots is the brand that I found to be the best, but there's definitely other brands as well. I recommend Your Boots. Is much cheaper than anything else in the market. That is super simple. You will just put it around the shin, the calf. I actually use it more for the calf than the shin, and then it just applies pressure moderately, and that increases blood flow and decreases muscle soreness. I use this quite often when traveling or in really hard periods of training. We had a stair workout last week. I think we spent an hour with these on the couch afterwards. They're brilliant. I would definitely recommend that. It's a very effective way to get through the shin pain, as well as just general recovery. How many times a week do I have to do weight training? I'd say 2 to 3 times.
2?
Yeah, 2 times. If you do weight training once, it's pretty bad it's not bad, but you're gonna get sore every time because the body needs to adapt to new movements and such. Like 2 times a week where your body is adapted already and you're not gonna get too tired from it. Obviously, inline skating or ice skating comes first. So yeah, twice a week is what I recommend, and won't get you to create too much fatigue or steal any focus from what we really care about, the skating itself. Shin pain usually happens because you just overuse the muscle. The tibia on the inside or outside here is what you use to lift up the foot. So in a turn, we have to stabilize or anything where you're, as in skating, balancing on a really thin wheel or a thin blade. You need a lot of small muscle power down here to like keep it straight, and it's gonna be big amounts of pressure that you're gonna put there, and all vibrations from the ground. So that's why I mentioned the soft wheels.
That's what I noticed when I started inline. It's so
Yeah.
different. Like my shins weren't prepared for that. Because when you're skating on the ice, it's so smooth, so glide, and when you go on the road, it's like all these small stones. So
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
straight road.
And Sophia is training many hours a week and still felt that, so it's pretty common. So go for soft wheels if you can. I run my own business where we sell inline skates. I always recommend Logino skates. I can throw a link below if you want to, because they have really soft padding on the inside, a good insole that absorbs some of those vibrations. So get some good boots, get some softer wheels, and avoid crossovers and turns if it's really bad, and then use kinesio tape and recovery tools. icing hot water bag works. I wouldn't think so. I have no experience with that for Shin Pain specifically, but I think
It's
really,
like very short term helps, like
yeah,
maybe the next day is gonna sore.
yeah. So I would go for more of what Sophia suggested with like active foam rolling or these air pressure blood flow tools such as your boots, and then kinesio tape during workouts. I made a video about Shin Pain, a really long one, took a while. I bought a whiteboard just for that, so check that out on the channel after. Next thing was the arm swing. I'm gonna look at the arm swing. I have seen when I do my clinics, so many people that even know how to skate quite well that don't get the, oh, thank you too. It's a pleasure, enjoyed this. That don't get the arm swing right. Even though it should be an easy thing, and that is for many people, if you don't have it already fixed, it's gonna be possibly the most simple way for you to gain a lot of speed easily by fixing that problem. So the arm swing has to be as natural as possible. So of course you need to coordinate it with the legs. I see a lot of people where it's uncoordinated or even the opposite of the leg movement. But when you're skating out with one leg, you want the opposite arm to go away. When you're down in the skating position, it's going to create a beautiful straight line. When you're down here, as you can see, this leg goes straight up with that arm. And then what I meant about a natural position is that you should use how the body is constructed, how it's put together. So if you swing your arms like that, this would be the natural movement of the joint. It goes like that. Same goes for the elbow. It doesn't open up like that, doesn't close like that, doesn't go up here, doesn't go up there. So be relaxed and then move it up. This bends natural like that.
Should be straight diagonal line.
Exactly. I found a really cool way to practice this that I introduced in some of my clinics. It's more like a core exercise, but it's really good for like getting those thoughts on how to use the arms straight, because right now it's pretty easy because we have all the time in the world to like. So one way to really try and not let that pull your upper body away from you when you're out skating is to try and go down into position. It looks weird, but then go for as fast as an arm swing as you can, and it really pulls you out of position. And once you learn how to do the arm swing properly, the most common mistake is that because all of a sudden you got this rotation in the upper body, that you just don't have the balance, the core strength to keep it in position. So it's just gonna tear you around. So try and go with that exercise. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. We got some Korean here. Hey Korea. Super cool to see how many people are watching these. We mentioned it in the beginning. If you have any ideas for hey Denmark, how do you get rid of pain in your feet when you suddenly stop? Oh, I get that. Sophia can reassure you that I get those feet cramps after almost every session. That's longer than.
I don't know how I want them if I knew.
There's one good thing that I always do. One thing is for sure, like, try not tighten your skates too much, or maybe halfway through your workout, just loosen them up a little. Skate a bit with untied laces. When I have the time for it, I try and do a little additional cool down where I don't tie my skates. It's more for ankle stability, ankle strength, something Sophia cares a lot about too. But at the moment when you take off your skates, I can try and show it on my feet. So when you take off your skates, try and stretch the outside here. That's usually where you feel that like muscle cramps here in the outside of the foot. So if you just pull it up here like that, pull here on the outside, it hurts a whole lot for 5 seconds, and then it's usually gonna relax the feet. Are you still teaching at hospital? For now, no, because I'm in Portugal, and I know that the COVID situation is gonna make it a little difficult to go to Valensbeck. However, I'm planning to do a bunch of clinics, maybe just in Denmark this summer, whenever it's possible. However, next spring, Sophia and I are talking about going on a little training camp tour. We still haven't picked out the locations yet where to do our clinics. But if you want to help us arrange anything in your country, your club, your community, reach out to me. You can hit me up on Instagram, Viktor Thorup, and then just send me a message. And we would really love to come and share this more face to face than face to camera. That would be nice. We had one little extra point that we want to include. It's a little hard to explain on shoes, but it was more the point of the one thing that every skater should always try and do is to use your body weight to create speed instead of muscle power, for two reasons. One, muscle power is hard to generate. If you have to do like a full one leg squat of your own body weight every time you take a stroke, oh, that would be a pleasure, then you're gonna tire out really fast. Unlike if you can use your body weight, keep that momentum going, and kind of take that energy from the previous skating stroke and carry that on to the next stroke, so it's more of a continuous movement. It's gonna be really easy, and it's gonna give you a better flow when you're out skating, and that is gonna save you a lot of energy. I would even say that's the biggest difference between a recreational skater and a legit speed skater, using a double push and that continuous flow of energy and speed. It's hard to explain, but the most important thing is that you always have the center of gravity of your body right where you're trying to put it into the ground. If you, do you want to give me, oh maybe I can just catch it. So if I try and push with this leg now, it's so far away from my body that it's really hard to create speed. My center of gravity is here. So if I try and push now, I'm just gonna use that quad, that glute muscle to do a little, not super efficient because it's too far away from me to really generate speed. So let that get a smooth drift away from you, and instead try and focus on the next leg. One of my first coaches in my, say, closer to professional career, Pascal Briand, always taught me that the second you put down another foot into the ground, you should always focus on pushing with that foot, because that's going to be the most efficient push. So if you have this leg out there and you set this down, the second this touches the ground, you should use that, because that is your center of gravity, and that is where you can use your body weight instead of your muscle. So always keep in mind that you create the most speed under or between the width of your shoulders. So the second it goes outside that, the leg is mostly just there for rhythm and won't be able to create much speed. So the second I put this leg down, I start pushing with that. And this is much closer. This should fall down. There's so many questions on the channel. Where do I put it on my skate? Where do I start to push? It should just be underneath yourself. That way, when you push off, this recovery movement can be super chill. No need to strengthen, or no need to, as long as you sit in the hip, just let this relax. And it is, same with the other, when it goes down, it is naturally, because it's so relaxed, it's just gonna fall down where the weight is. It's just gonna fall down right here. And then it's in a position right under myself, right under the body weight, where all I do is not really pushing with the leg, but just letting the body be on it. Smart. And it's
so
nice.
much science in speed skating.
There's a lot of science in speed skating, applied science. We can hang out for a few more minutes before we get lunch here. So if you have any questions, or this is also a great opportunity to super chat if you like what we did today. Sophia is not much of a spammer.
No.
But
Also don't talk much today.
no, why not? We just had a.
I'm just hungry.
I'm hungry too. We just had a demanding weightlifting session. Also, today is the very first day in the 2 months we've been in Portugal where it actually rains outside.
So much rain.
Oh, well, thank you from Portugal.
Oh.
That's cool. Local. Or I guess, yeah, we're not that local, but thanks for having us, Portugal. We enjoy it. Yeah, that was all for now, unless you have more questions. Again, if there's any specific topic you want us to look at in these skating lessons, you can comment anytime. If you like what we do, leave us a super chat. that is motivating us, and we really appreciate all donations.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
How do you quickly get into the Valensbæk Unge Øde team? I think you need a certain level to get in. Practice a lot. Watch more of these videos and do some skating. See you next time. Yeah, next time is Friday, same time, 1 p.m. European time, Central time. And that time is gonna be a real workout, so be warm for that. Good to hear. And yeah, and we're gonna suffer some together. Stay fit until the end of.
It's not gonna be so bad.
No?
No.
Oh. Well, Sophia thinks it's gonna be easy.
It's
So
It's okay.
we'll just have to trust her. Can you do a video on launching with both one skate on ground? Because I can never push further enough. Do you have that question? God damn it. I don't know if we have the linguistic skills to really figure out what that means. Can you do a video on launching?
With both one skate on ground.
Bye bye, parole. Oh, that is a tough question. If we can do a video on launching with both. Both? One. Isn't that contradictory? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you elaborate? Thanks. Thanks a lot for watching the videos. That's why we make them. It'd be sad if it was just for a future self home video, look back at how to find the perfect skating station.
If we forget one day.
Just normal launching. Oh, so I have to do lunges? Or launching? Like
What?
starts?
Lunching? I don't know what that means. Lunges?
You shouldn't do lunges when skating. That's a tough one. No, like a hawk, a dive for line. Ah, yes. Good question. That'll be hard to show in shoes. If you also want to know how to like dive for the line or do a finish hawk.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
This how it
They
goes.
do-
I'm
they
not
do-
a bigger than mine.
Yeah, they don't do that on ice.
I barely skate.
That is a longer process. I made a 2-3 minute video on the channel about it already that you can go watch. It's really just took it down step by step, kind of how to do it. Try to simplify it. It takes a while, even though it's simple steps, because you need a lot of balance, and if you don't already have the flexibility to do it, it's gonna take a really long time. But practice makes perfect, and really, if that ends up being the reason you win a race, I'm pretty sure stretching once or twice a week is gonna for sure be worth it. All right, thanks for now. Check out our t-shirts, and you have 10 more seconds to super chat. And if not, we'll see you Friday at
1 p.m. Central Time.
Warmed Up.
Central Europe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How do you end?